In advanced age, certain relational betrayals are irreconcilable. 7 such transgressions demand unwavering resolve against forgiveness. Certain life mistakes are forgivable. However, some betrayals are unforgivable, especially in later life. Have you placed your trust in someone only to be deeply hurt? Do you believe forgiveness is always the best path, or are there wounds that should never heal? This video will explore 7 betrayals you should never forgive in any relationship, because overlooking them will ultimately cause you the greatest harm. 1. Betrayal of loyalty. Loyalty is paramount in fostering trust, stability, and mutual respect within any relationship. A loyal individual consistently demonstrates unwavering support, particularly during challenging times. Betrayal, backstabbing, or abandonment are not options. They actively defend against criticism and slander. Their commitment stems from genuine respect and affection, not self-interest. Loyalty is not a luxury. It is a fundamental prerequisite for enduring relationships. Conversely, a breach of loyalty constitutes one of the most profoundly painful forms of betrayal. How does a betrayal of loyalty manifest? This betrayal not only occurs through overt actions such as deception and breach of trust, but can also subtly emerge through the following indicators. Abandonment in times of need. A loyal individual remains present not only during times of joy, but also during hardship. However, those lacking genuine loyalty will distance themselves during critical moments. They disappear during financial crises, offering no assistance. When you are attacked, they remain silent, avoiding involvement. They disregard your health or psychological struggles, acting as if nothing is amiss. This behavior conveys a clear message: you are unimportant to me. This is unforgivable. Siding with adversaries. A betrayal even more egregious than abandonment is aligning oneself with those who harm you. This includes joining those who criticize you, even when they are demonstrably wrong, contributing to the spread of rumors about you instead of defending your honor, remaining silent when you are wronged, failing to advocate for the truth. A truly loyal person will not only refrain from participating in attacks against you, but will actively defend you when necessary. Siding with adversaries is clear evidence of severed allegiance. Exploiting trust. Some individuals feign loyalty, exploiting others for personal gain. This is characterized by seeking your assistance only when needed, then abandoning you when you are no longer useful. Promising loyalty, yet betraying you for personal advancement. Exploiting your weaknesses to manipulate or undermine you. Such individuals are adept at deception, but once exposed, their lack of genuine support becomes evident. Why is a betrayal of loyalty unforgivable? While some may argue for extending forgiveness to those who betray loyalty, the truth is that such forgiveness only perpetuates further harm. The reasons why this type of betrayal warrants no forgiveness are multifaceted and compelling. Firstly, a betrayal of loyalty represents the deepest form of treachery. When someone acts disloyally, they are not merely betraying an individual, they are fundamentally undermining the core tenets upon which the relationship was built. It transcends a simple mistake. It reveals a profound flaw in their character, a demonstrable lack of integrity. This is not a momentary lapse in judgment, but a conscious rejection of the inherent values of trust and commitment. Secondly, disloyalty is not a mistake. It is a conscious choice. Many attempt to justify their actions by claiming a lack of alternatives or unintentional harm. However, the decision to remain loyal or to betray is inherently deliberate. The disloyal individual consciously chooses to abandon the betrayed party, actively siding with those who cause harm. Their silence in moments of need further underscores this calculated decision. A single act of betrayal establishes a pattern. It demonstrates a willingness to compromise integrity, making future betrayal significantly more likely. Thirdly, extending forgiveness only emboldens further transgressions. Forgiving a betrayal of loyalty sends a clear message. Such actions carry no significant consequences. This lack of accountability encourages repeated disloyal behavior, fostering a climate of disrespect and undermining any possibility of genuine reconciliation. Finally, loyalty is not a negotiable commodity. It is an intrinsic quality. Loyalty is not something that can be demanded or bargained for. It is either present or absent. If an individual has demonstrated a consistent pattern of disloyalty, there is no rational basis to believe that future behavior will differ. To forgive such actions is to condone them, thereby perpetuating a cycle of betrayal and undermining the very foundations of trust. When faced with a betrayal of trust, forgiveness is not the optimal response. Decisive separation is. Sever ties with the individual who betrayed you. Do not seek explanations or apologies. These actions will not alter their inherent character. Learn to recognize the early warning signs of betrayal to prevent future harm. Cultivate new relationships with individuals who demonstrate unwavering loyalty. Above all, do not betray yourself by extending forgiveness to those who are undeserving. 2. Systematic deception. Systematic deception is not merely an isolated falsehood, but a premeditated strategy employed consistently and deliberately to manipulate others. It is not an impulsive act, but a recurring pattern of behavior, frequently used to gain personal advantage by deceiving those around them. Key characteristics of systematic deception include persistent and intentional falsehoods, not simply accidental misstatements, methodical concealment of the truth to maintain power, control, or advantage, integration with other manipulative tactics such as defamation, sowing doubt, or undermining trust, and the masking of deceit with apparent sincerity to foster unquestioning belief in the victim. The mechanics of systemic deception. Systemic liars don't merely tell one lie. They construct an intricate web of deceit, where each falsehood supports others, maintaining narrative consistency. Their actions typically follow these steps. Fabricating a false narrative. Initially, the liar constructs a false narrative to achieve their objective. This might involve distorting information for personal gain, fabricating evidence to damage another's reputation, or creating a facade to conceal wrongdoing. For example, a financial fraudster might claim to possess a high-yield investment system, when in reality, it's a Ponzi scheme. Reinforcing lies with false evidence. While a single lie is easily exposed, systemic lies are bolstered by fabricated evidence or rationalizations. This includes using falsified data, forged documents to gain credibility, creating false witnesses, and employing half-truths to mislead. For instance, a fraudulent business might use falsified financial reports to attract investors, controlling information and distorting the truth. To maintain the deception, systemic liars control information by suppressing dissenting voices through document concealment, communication restrictions, or intimidation, twisting facts to their advantage, and disseminating misinformation to create a false narrative. A corrupt leader, for example, might manipulate media to conceal a scandal, attacking doubters and opponents. When suspicion arises or the truth emerges, the liar will attempt to discredit accusers, sow discord to weaken opposition, and use intimidation or emotional manipulation to silence dissent. A fraudulent CEO, for instance, might attempt to dismiss or smear whistleblowing employees, adapting the lie to the situation. Systemic liars never rigidly adhere to a single narrative. Upon detection, they will adjust their lies to accommodate new evidence, create new justifications to deflect attention, and shift blame to avoid responsibility. A financial fraudster, when exposed, might blame market instability rather than admitting their deception. The ramifications of systematic deception are profound and far-reaching, impacting multiple facets of individual and societal well-being. Firstly, the systematic erosion of trust is inevitable. Once discovered, the consequences can be devastating. Families fractured by financial infidelity or extramarital affairs, professional relationships shattered by the deceit of superiors or colleagues seeking personal gain, and businesses irrevocably damaged by the fraudulent activities of their leadership. The repercussions extend beyond the immediate relational sphere. Secondly, the psychological toll of prolonged deception is significant, often debilitating. Victims frequently experience profound feelings of betrayal, disillusionment, and a pervasive sense of mistrust that permeates their interactions with others. This erosion of trust can lead to significant difficulties in forming and maintaining healthy relationships in the future, fostering isolation and hindering personal growth. The psychological trauma can manifest in various ways, including anxiety, depression, and difficulty in establishing secure attachments. Thirdly, the legal and ethical implications of systematic dishonesty are severe and potentially life-altering. Numerous instances of systematic deception result in serious legal repercussions, ranging from civil lawsuits for fraud and financial misrepresentation to criminal prosecution for perjury and document forgery. The consequences can include substantial financial penalties, imprisonment, and the complete loss of professional reputation and social standing. Furthermore, the ethical breach inherent in systematic lying undermines the foundations of trust upon which society is built, contributing to a climate of cynicism and distrust. The long-term societal impact of such widespread dishonesty is a significant concern. Identifying systemic deception. To avoid manipulation by systemic liars, recognize these indicators. Inconsistent narratives. A constantly shifting story strongly suggests deception. Lack of verifiable evidence. Significant claims unsupported by credible evidence warrant suspicion. Emotional manipulation. Attempts to deflect scrutiny through emotional appeals rather than direct answers indicate deception. Consistent blame shifting. Systemic liars rarely accept responsibility, instead consistently deflecting blame onto others. 3. Public humiliation. Public humiliation is the act of shaming, defaming, or degrading an individual's reputation before an audience, with the intention of punishment, control, or discrediting them. This can occur in work, family, social, or online environments, and is often accompanied by feelings of shame, humiliation, and loss of self-esteem in the victim. Public humiliation may originate from individuals, e.g., superiors humiliating subordinates, parents humiliating children, peers publicly shaming each other, groups or organizations, e.g., companies humiliating employees, online communities attacking individuals, or systemic societal structures, e.g., media defamation without clear evidence. Public shaming is a deliberate act with multifaceted motivations, often stemming from a complex interplay of control, retribution, emotional release, and a pursuit of attention. The underlying drivers are rarely singular and frequently overlap to create a potent and damaging effect on the victim. Control and intimidation. Public shaming serves as a potent tool for exerting power and dominance. The perpetrator seeks to instill fear and compliance, forcing the victim to submit to their will. This control mechanism is particularly prevalent in hierarchical structures, such as workplaces or families. For example, a superior might publicly reprimand a subordinate in front of colleagues to suppress dissent and maintain control. The act itself is a demonstration of power, designed to prevent future challenges to authority. Retribution and defamation. Public shaming can be a calculated act of revenge aimed at damaging the reputation and credibility of a rival. This is common in competitive environments, including business, politics, and personal relationships. The perpetrator seeks to diminish the victim's standing, undermining their support base and eroding their influence. For instance, a company might deliberately leak damaging information about a competitor to sway public opinion and gain a competitive advantage. This strategy transcends mere competition. It's a calculated attempt to inflict reputational harm. Emotional release and self-aggrandizement. In some instances, public shaming serves as a mechanism for the perpetrator to mask their own insecurities and inadequacies. Feeling personally inadequate or threatened, the individual might attempt to elevate their self-esteem by diminishing others. This can manifest as a projection of their own failings onto the victim, providing a temporary sense of superiority. For example, an individual experiencing professional setbacks might lash out at their spouse in public, seeking to assert dominance and compensate for their perceived weakness. This is a deeply flawed coping mechanism, masking underlying emotional distress, entertainment, and attention-seeking. The modern digital landscape has amplified the potential for public shaming, transforming it into a tool for entertainment and attention-seeking. Social media platforms and certain media outlets exploit the spectacle of public humiliation to generate views and engagement, often at the expense of the victim's well-being. For instance, some social media influencers leverage the misfortunes of others to create sensationalized content, prioritizing views and engagement over ethical considerations. This trend underscores the problematic intersection of public shaming and the pursuit of online notoriety. The normalization of such behavior necessitates a critical examination of its societal implications. Common forms of public humiliation. Public reprimand or humiliation. A supervisor berating an employee in front of colleagues, a teacher humiliating a student in class, parents scolding a child in public. Consequences. Victims experience shame, embarrassment, and loss of self-confidence. Online defamation. Utilizing platforms like Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube to slander or humiliate individuals. Spreading misinformation to damage reputations. Online mob mentality without evidence. Consequences. Victims may experience job loss, depression, or even suicidal ideation. Creating offensive nicknames or defaming personal images. Employing mocking nicknames to shame individuals. Exaggerating minor mistakes into prolonged ridicule. Posting inappropriate images or videos to publicly shame others. Consequences. Victims may suffer psychological trauma and loss of self-esteem. Workplace harassment. Managers consistently humiliating employees during meetings. Colleagues mocking or belittling others to assert dominance. Superiors using humiliation as a tool to control subordinates. Consequences. Employees feel oppressed, experience decreased work performance, and may resign. Domestic humiliation. Parents constantly comparing children to others to induce feelings of inferiority. Spouses publicly humiliating each other in front of relatives and friends. Children humiliating elderly parents due to their inability to work. Consequences. Family relationships become strained, children lose trust in their parents, and marital harmony is destroyed. The severe consequences of public humiliation are multifaceted and far-reaching. Psychological and mental impact. Victims experience diminished self-worth, self-doubt, and shame, potentially leading to depression, anxiety, and prolonged stress. In extreme cases, suicide may result from the unbearable pressure. Loss of reputation and credibility. Public humiliation significantly damages reputation, often irreparably. Social ostracism and lost opportunities for advancement are common. The victim's family may also suffer collateral damage. Erosion of personal and social relationships. Strained family relationships, damaged friendships, and fractured professional connections are likely outcomes. Trust in society erodes, potentially fostering resentment and retaliatory actions, creating a cycle of violence. Legal ramifications. Public humiliation that violates the law, defamation, slander, exposes perpetrators to legal action. Companies or individuals engaging in public humiliation may face fines or criminal prosecution. Strategies for addressing public humiliation: remain calm and avoid immediate reactions. Angry responses can exacerbate the situation. Seek redress. If publicly humiliated at work or online, pursue legal action or report the incident to your supervisor. Cultivate self-assurance and patience. Do not allow humiliation to diminish your self-worth. Document evidence. Preserve records of online or workplace humiliation for potential future use. Seek support. Enlist the aid of family, friends, or mental health professionals if feeling overwhelmed. 4. Conditional love. Conditional love is a form of transactional affection, where one's love is contingent upon the fulfillment of specific conditions by the other person. Failure to maintain these conditions results in diminished or extinguished affection. These conditions may relate to financial status: I will love you if you are wealthy. Physical attributes: I will stay with you only if you remain beautiful. Achievements: I will only love you if you achieve high grades. Or obedience: I will love you only if you obey me. Conditional love stands in stark contrast to unconditional love, which is characterized by an unwavering commitment independent of external factors, rooted solely in genuine connection. Conditional love stems from several key factors. Firstly, societal and educational influences often instill the notion that love is conditional. Children may learn that parental affection is contingent upon achievement and obedience, while societal norms frequently equate love with material success or status, fostering transactional relationships. This ingrained perspective carries into adulthood, transforming love into a calculated exchange rather than a genuine emotion. Secondly, fear and insecurity play a significant role. The apprehension of vulnerability or exploitation can lead individuals to impose conditions as a self-protective mechanism, or a lack of faith in unconditional love may lead to the belief that inherent benefits are necessary for its existence. Finally, individual personality traits contribute. Self-serving, pragmatic, or controlling individuals may utilize love instrumentally to achieve personal goals. Similarly, low self-esteem can manifest as conditional love, providing a sense of power dynamics within the relationship. Conditional love, four manifestations. Materialistic and financial love. Some individuals base their affections solely on financial resources, gifts, or wealth. The withdrawal of financial support or a decline in affluence often results in a dissolution of the relationship. For example, a woman may love a man for his car, house, and wealth. A man may marry a woman for her affluent family and the career advancement it affords him. Consequence: such relationships are inherently unstable and prone to collapse with changes in financial circumstances. Love based on physical appearance. This type of love prioritizes physical attraction over genuine emotional connection. Changes in appearance, aging, weight gain, loss of beauty, can significantly destabilize the relationship. For example, a man may love his wife only while she remains young and beautiful, becoming indifferent or unfaithful as she ages. A woman may love her boyfriend for his physique, ending the relationship upon his weight gain. Consequence: the conditionally loved individual experiences insecurity and fear of losing their value over time. Love based on achievement and status. Some individuals only love or respect others based on high social standing or significant achievements. Failure often leads to a change in attitude or the termination of the relationship. For example, a woman may love her husband because he is a company director, divorcing him upon his financial downfall. Parents may only show affection to children who achieve high grades and gain admission to prestigious universities. Consequence: the conditionally loved individual feels immense pressure, fear of failure, and a constant need to prove their worth to maintain affection. Love based on control. Some individuals demand subservience and obedience from their partners as a prerequisite for love. Disobedience may result in punishment or withdrawal of affection. For example, a husband may demand his wife remain a stay-at-home mother, threatening to end the relationship if she seeks employment. A boyfriend may control his girlfriend's every action, dictating her attire under threat of separation. Consequence: the relationship becomes stifling, leaving the controlled individual feeling suppressed, lacking autonomy, and potentially suffering psychological harm. Conditional love. Detrimental consequences. Relationship instability. Conditionally based love is inherently precarious, readily dissolving when those conditions change. The loss of financial security, physical attractiveness, or social status often results in the dissolution of the relationship. Psychological distress for the conditionally loved. Individuals subjected to conditional love experience constant pressure to maintain the stipulated conditions. This generates anxiety, undermines self-esteem, and can even lead to depression. Profound emotional trauma. Upon relationship dissolution, the realization that their worth is contingent upon fulfilling specific conditions results in feelings of profound betrayal and emotional trauma. This can severely damage future trust in romantic relationships. Negative societal impact. The normalization of conditional love fosters transactional and self-serving relationships. This contributes to increased divorce rates, infidelity, and deception as partners fail to meet initial conditions. 5. Broken promises. A broken promise occurs when an individual fails to fulfill a prior commitment or agreement. This can manifest in various aspects of life, including romantic relationships, business dealings, family dynamics, and social interactions. Breaching a promise carries significant consequences, potentially resulting in a loss of trust, emotional distress, and the disintegration of relationships. Examples include a parent failing to attend their child's graduation despite a prior commitment, a romantic partner betraying a vow of fidelity, or a company consistently delaying promised payments. Broken promises stem from several key factors. Firstly, a lack of responsibility manifests in individuals readily making promises without considering their feasibility. These individuals often prioritize immediate gratification over commitment, making promises without genuine intent to fulfill them. Secondly, unforeseen circumstances, such as accidents, financial crises, or personal emergencies, can render even the most well-intentioned promises impossible to keep. For example, a promised investment may become unfeasible due to unforeseen business difficulties. Thirdly, self-interest can override commitment. A company might renege on a contract if a more lucrative opportunity arises. Fourthly, a lack of conviction can lead to broken promises. A change of heart, perhaps influenced by external factors, can result in abandoning a prior commitment. Finally, coercion can result in promises made under duress, with no genuine intention of fulfillment. For instance, a marriage promise made under familial pressure may lack genuine commitment. Broken promises, a categorical analysis. Romantic relationships, promises of fidelity followed by betrayal, promises of marriage subsequently broken, promises of self-improvement left unfulfilled. Consequences include loss of trust, profound emotional injury, and relationship dissolution. Family dynamics, parental promises unkept, e.g., failing to attend important events, neglecting promised gifts. Marital promises of mutual support disregarded. Consequences include erosion of trust between parents and children, resulting in psychological harm to children, marital estrangement, and loss of respect. Professional and business contexts, broken promises of salary increases, last-minute withdrawal from contracts, unfulfilled investment commitments. Consequences encompass financial losses for the aggrieved party, reputational damage, and harm to business credibility. Friendships, unfulfilled promises of assistance, breaches of confidentiality. Consequences include damaged friendships, loss of trust, potential conflict, and severed relationships. Broken promises carry significant consequences. Repeatedly breaking promises erodes trust and credibility, impacting both professional and personal life. In intimate relationships, broken promises inflict deep emotional wounds, severely damaging trust in the relationship itself. Businesses and individuals who consistently fail to keep their word risk losing clients, business opportunities, and reputation. Betrayal breeds resentment and can trigger retaliatory actions, potentially leading to conflict, litigation, or other negative outcomes. 6. Neglect and apathy. Apathy and neglect represent a state of indifference, characterized by a lack of concern, emotional expression, or action toward a significant issue, individual, or event. This can stem from carelessness, selfishness, emotional exhaustion, or deliberate disregard. Individual or collective apathy and neglect can have severe consequences, including emotional trauma, loss of trust, and social isolation. Examples include parental disregard for children's emotional well-being and development, partners ignoring each other's emotional needs, bystanders remaining silent in the face of injustice, and societal indifference to ethical or humanitarian concerns. Causes of apathy and neglect. Lack of empathy. Some individuals lack the capacity for empathy, failing to understand or share the feelings of others. This inability to perceive the suffering or difficulties of others readily leads to indifference. Self-absorption. Individuals overly focused on personal well-being, interests, and emotions often neglect the needs of others. For example, prioritizing work and financial gain at the expense of family relationships. Past trauma. Prior experiences of betrayal or hurt can erode trust, fostering apathy. Fear of further exploitation or harm discourages engagement with others. Loss of faith in life. Repeated disappointments can engender cynicism and emotional detachment. A belief that concern is futile results in apathy and disengagement. Influence of modern society. Contemporary technology, particularly excessive use of mobile devices and social media, diminishes real-world connection. This contributes to a pervasive lack of concern for one's surroundings and fellow human beings. Manifestations of neglect and apathy. Within the family, parents disregard their children's thoughts and feelings. Spouses cohabitate without mutual support or encouragement. Children neglect their aging parents. Consequences. Children develop emotional deficits and psychological vulnerability. Families lose cohesion, increasing the risk of fracturing and dissolution. In romantic relationships, one partner ignores the other's emotional needs. Instead of empathy and communication, they prioritize their own lives. Consequences. Relationships become strained, leading to breakups. The neglected partner experiences profound loneliness. In the workplace, colleagues fail to support each other during challenges. Management disregards employees, focusing solely on profit. Consequences. The work environment becomes tense and lacks teamwork. Employees feel isolated and demotivated. Within society, citizens witness injustice without intervention. Individuals in distress receive no assistance. Consequences. Society becomes apathetic, fostering alienation. Injustice and crime escalate due to a lack of timely intervention. The consequences of neglect and apathy. Erosion of trust. Repeated neglect erodes faith in others' empathy and concern, leading to social withdrawal, isolation, and emotional detachment. Psychological trauma. Individuals experiencing neglect often suffer feelings of loneliness, depression, and a diminished will to live. Children neglected by parents are particularly vulnerable to developing negative psychological patterns with lasting consequences. Increased social isolation, widespread apathy fosters a cold and uncaring society. Interpersonal bonds weaken, resulting in fragmentation, conflict, and even violence. 7v. Envy is the feeling of resentment, displeasure, or anger at another's possessions or advantages. This may encompass success, wealth, reputation, appearance, happiness, or any attribute that elevates another individual. Envy stems from self-comparison and a perceived injustice in not possessing what another has. Uncontrolled envy can damage relationships, breed hostility and conflict, and even incite negative behaviors. The roots of envy, a multifaceted analysis. Insecurity and self-doubt. Individuals experiencing feelings of inadequacy or inferiority are predisposed to envy. The perceived success of others directly threatens their self-esteem, triggering a defensive reaction manifested as envy. This insecurity stems from a fundamental lack of self-confidence, leading to a comparative evaluation that consistently undermines their self-worth. The resulting emotional distress fuels envious feelings. The perils of social comparison. The pervasive nature of social media exacerbates the tendency towards social comparison. Individuals are constantly bombarded with curated portrayals of seemingly perfect lives, fostering unrealistic expectations and fueling feelings of inadequacy. The ubiquitous presentation of others' achievements, professional success, fulfilling relationships, physical attractiveness, creates a fertile ground for envy to take root and flourish. This constant exposure to idealized versions of reality undermines self-acceptance and promotes negative self-evaluation. The psychology of perceived deprivation, a sense of lacking, whether financial resources, social status, romantic fulfillment, or other desired attributes, can significantly contribute to envious feelings. This perceived deprivation creates a sense of injustice, fostering resentment towards those perceived as possessing what is desired but lacking in the individual's own life. This feeling of scarcity intensifies the emotional response to the perceived success of others. The pursuit of social validation. Humans possess an inherent desire for recognition and social validation. When others receive accolades or acknowledgement that the individual feels they deserve, envy can emerge as a consequence. This stems from a perceived lack of deserved recognition, leading to feelings of resentment and unfairness. The resulting emotional dissonance fuels the envious response. Environmental influences and learned behavior. Upbringing and environmental factors play a crucial role in shaping an individual's propensity towards envy. A competitive and intensely rivalrous environment can foster the development of envious tendencies. These learned behaviors, often unconsciously acquired, become ingrained patterns of response to perceived threats to one's self-image and social standing. The normalization of competition can lead to the internalization of envy as an acceptable, even expected emotional response. Manifestations of envy. Workplace. Experiencing resentment towards colleagues receiving promotions or recognition. Actively seeking to undermine or spread negative rumors about more successful individuals. Unwillingness to cooperate or assist others for fear of being surpassed. Friendships, displeasure at a friend's success, positive relationships, or significant achievements. Discomfort when friends receive attention or admiration from others. Secretly comparing oneself to friends, consistently feeling dissatisfaction. Romantic relationships, jealousy towards a partner's success or appearance rather than pride. A desire to control the partner out of fear of them finding someone better. Comparing one's relationship to others, resulting in discontent. Family. Siblings exhibiting envy over parental affection or family assets. Jealousy when a family member achieves greater professional success. Society. Displeasure at the happiness, wealth, or fame of others. A belief that the success of others is due to luck or dishonesty. Managing and eliminating envy. Recognizing and accepting emotions. First, acknowledge your envy rather than denying or concealing it. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What is the source of this feeling? Transforming envy into motivation. Instead of succumbing to jealousy, use the success of others as motivation to strive for self-improvement. Learn from those who excel rather than resenting them. Practicing gratitude. Focus on appreciating what you possess rather than dwelling on what you lack. Maintain a record of life's positive aspects to mitigate feelings of inadequacy. Building self-confidence. Reinforce your self-worth by setting personal goals, honing your skills, and pursuing self-development. Increased self-confidence diminishes the need for comparison with others. Reframing success. Understand that the success of others does not equate to your failure. Life is not a competition. Each individual has a unique path to follow. Cultivating authenticity. Learn to genuinely celebrate the achievements of others instead of harboring envy. Foster relationships built on support and collaboration rather than negative competition. Now that you are aware of 7 unforgivable betrayals in relationships, remember that forgiveness is not always a sign of virtue. It can be a trap that perpetuates your suffering. Have you experienced any of these betrayals? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and remember to like, subscribe, and enable notifications to stay updated on videos designed to empower you to live stronger and wiser. Until next time.